I, 25 female, need advice on confronting my boyfriend, 23 male, about a gross situation. Help?
Hey Reddit. I'm in a bit of a pickle and could really use your advice on how to handle a really awkward situation with my boyfriend.
We've been together for about 2 years, and he recently moved into my apartment.
For the most part, everything has been great, until I started noticing some strange issues with the shower drain.
After he moved in, I noticed that the shower drain was clogging much faster than it ever had before.
At first, I thought it might just be a faster buildup of hair or soap scum, since we're now 2 people sharing the shower, so I didn't think much of it.
But one day, while he was at work, and I was home alone, I decided to do a thorough cleaning of the entire apartment.
When I got to the shower, I took off the drain grate, expecting to find a mess of hair.
What I found was something entirely different, and downright disgusting, and the smell immediately hit me, and was unmistakable.
Along with a bunch of hair, there were large pieces that looked like human feces stuck to it.
What convinced me that I had actually pulled poop from the shower drain was that in order to confirm my suspicion, I used a knife to mush the lump and discovered seeds, corn, and other unidentifiable bits inside of it.
Not to mention that the smell seemed to multiply as I mushed it. I was horrified.
At first I thought, what if the poop had floated up from the sewers, through the pipes, and then somehow had ended up in my shower drain? But then I thought, that is impossible, and I've never had this kind of issue before, so it was pretty clear to me that it had to be him. Now I'm in a dilemma.
I really want to bring this up with him, but I'm not sure how to approach it without making things super awkward and embarrassing for both of us. I care about him, and I don't want to hurt his feelings or make him feel ashamed, but at the same time, I can't just ignore it.
This is a hygiene issue, and I need to address it. I also looked up the risks of pooping in the shower. Hygiene concerns, of course, bacterial infections, clogged drains, odor issues, etc., probably. First of all, has anyone dealt with something similar?
Maybe it's more common than I think. IDK.
How do I even start this conversation?
I'm worried about his reaction and how it could affect our relationship. Any tips on how to handle this without turning it into a huge mess would be super helpful. Edit. I appreciate the advice, and we'll have a talk with him when he comes home from work.
Edit 2. Perhaps I'm too forgiving. Don't get me wrong, I'm utterly repulsed. But this man is also the love of my life, and believe it or not, he's much more than someone who shits in the shower. Lol.
Anyway, I hope this is something we can do eventually laugh about and move on from.
I am willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Perhaps it was normalized in his upbringing, and he just needs someone to tell him otherwise. IDK. Or perhaps he has some issues with his bowels, and had been too embarrassed to tell me.
Either way, I won't allow him to use my shower as a bathroom anymore.
Number 1 is fine, I guess. Number 2 is dramatically overstepping my boundaries. Let's hope our conversation goes well. Edit 3. I get that people want me to just step up and say it straight to his face as it is. Don't poop in my shower.
In every other situation I most likely would have. This has utterly stomped me, to the point where I actually don't know how to approach this.
I know that you all don't know him, and right now you all only identify him as
shower poop guy, or whatever. But that's not who I know. He's caring, and treats other people well.
He's funny and smart and interesting,
and I genuinely think he's a good person. This is someone whom I imagined I'd start a family with, and live a long life together with, hence why I'm perhaps so willing to hear him out. I think that's what love is. The willingness to try and understand where your loved ones are coming from.
To understand their thought process and reasoning behind their actions, words.
We all do stupid shit every now and then, and I think for the most part, forgiveness should be granted if you learn from your dumb decisions, depending on the severity.
I don't think he has any ill intentions. This is literally the only thing that has made me question our relationship in the span of 2 years. So yeah, I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Warning update.
I'll invest the energy I wasted during my studies and use what I learned in my creative writing courses to provide a dramatic account of this evening's events. We stood in the dim bathroom, both perplexed, the air thick with tension.
I had only glimpsed the problem, sensing something more bewildering beneath the surface. It all began with a misunderstanding that spiraled into chaos. My boyfriend believed I was responsible for a troubling situation in our shower. With apprehension, I decided to confront him. We needed to tackle this together.
As he walked in after his shift, I blurted out, "Have you pooped in the shower?"
I'm not judging. I just want to understand why.
The words hung heavy, and I saw horror on his face.
It felt like I had caught the guilty bastard.
But then, to my disbelief, he said, "What do you mean? You're the one who's been massacring the shower for weeks." My mind raced, and I could only manage a stunned, "What?" It turned out my boyfriend had been rinsing the shower tiles every morning, scrubbing away what he thought were my late-night indiscretions.
He had kept this secret to spare my feelings.
"But you're the shower-pooping culprit?"
I gasped, confusion washing over me.
The revelation spun in my mind as I struggled to grasp the situation.
For a moment, we stared at each other, our minds racing.
If it isn't us, then who is it?
Slut. I plan to contact the managing agent first thing in the morning, to hopefully identify the issue with our shower drain.
We're both feeling exhausted but beyond relieved that neither of us has a shower-pooping partner.
I'll keep you posted. Children crossing update 2. So I spoke with management this morning, and they are sending someone to come check the pipes, drain and toilet later today.
I really don't think it's my boyfriend. I can't imagine for the life of me that he'd go to this extent.
I've known him for years, and we've been dating for the past 2 years.
Some of you seem to think I'm in denial, but IR just seems too far-fetched at this point to be true. It's hard to believe, I think. Oddly enough, it's been reassuring to hear that some of you have had similar things happening to you, and that it turned out to be a plumbing issue.
So I'm setting my bets on that for now. Maybe it's just a recently occurring issue.
I've also spoken to my downstairs neighbor, who told me he had been experiencing similar issues, but management had yet to do something about it. And that just seems to confirm my suspicions to me.
Also, my boyfriend and I have been bawling our eyes out laughing at your comments. Lol, tears of joy. This is just absolutely absurd.
This is strangely common. Back when I had a plumbing company, one of my customers who I did a bathroom for kept complaining the drain was blocking.
I'd go back and find fresh waffle stomp. First time, cleared it, no questions asked. Second time, documented it and mentioned it to couple. They denied it. Third time I attended. Same. Documented, told them, showed them, they still denied it, and any future calls are billable. They took me to small claims claiming the shower isn't fit for purpose. Tell you what, handing the judge a bunch of printed out photos of a waffle stomp was a surreal experience. Surprisingly, he didn't flinch. Ruled in my favor too.
Frankly, if he gets embarrassed, good.
He should be embarrassed. This is not normal and is absolutely disgusting.
Just straight up confront him and tell him use the toilet or get out.
23. Love of my life, shits in the shower. This problem will solve itself once your frontal lobe is done cooking. I could have really gone my whole life without reading this one and been a much happier person.
Just bring up what you found while cleaning. If he's waffle stomping in the shower, that's nasty and he needs to stop.
Nope, yuck. He's shitting in the shower, smushing it down the drain, and let me guess, doesn't clean up after it. Listen, there's almost no chance that he won't get offended by you bringing this up.
Tell him what you found and that he needs to stop it because it is unhygienic. There's a toilet for a reason.
I don't give a fuck if he says that in the middle of a shower, easier to go than to get out. That's lazy and disgusting.
Unless there's an actual health reason. By that I mean he can't stop it, an accident, then I would understand. But he can't smush it down the drain anymore, and he has to clean up afterwards, and he should tell you. But anything else?
Nope, bye-bye. I won't let my 27F, twin sister, 27F, give a speech at my wedding.
How do I navigate this? Hi. I need help navigating a tough conversation with me. 27F me twin, 27F. To begin, my 31M fiancé and I have been together for 3.5 years. The first year we were dating, my twin clearly didn't like him.
She even threatened him once when she was visiting and I left them alone for a few minutes. I'm not entirely sure what her problem was with him.
As the years have gone by, she has basically ignored his existence or found ways to diminish it, like making a dumb nickname for him and referring to him that way.
I have had multiple conversations with her about how she acted towards him. I have cried multiple times, telling her I wish they had a relationship. My older siblings followed him on social media early on and have embraced, despite a breakup we had early on. They hug him, call him brother, and joke with him like he's one of us. My siblings and I are very close. I will say it was my twin who advocated a couple of years ago for my fiancé and my brother-in-law, then just my older sister's fiancé, to join us for family holidays. My parents are immigrants and we hadn't broached how to bring in significant others. My twin started the process of asking my parents so that we could all get to know each other's future spouses. Even still, she barely acknowledged or tolerated him. She didn't follow him on social media until we were engaged. She didn't get excited with me when we were getting ready to be engaged. She almost never let me talk about him. And if I did, she would just stay silent or change the subject. And she still does. And she has no relationship with him. Last year, I warned and begged her that the way things were going, she wouldn't even be a bridesmaid as her actions didn't merit the place. I have cried about this so many times the last 3 years. After we got engaged, my fiancé and I agreed that it would cause too much drama not to have her be a bridesmaid and my maid of honor. I elevated my siblings to matron of honor and man of honor since they actually deserve the honor and decided my older sister would give the speech and stand next to me. My twin is upset about it. She has cried about it to me, saying she doesn't understand how she hasn't honored my relationship to the point that she doesn't get to give a speech at my wedding. I can't fathom how she doesn't want to talk to me about my relationship, but she wants to talk to 200 people at my wedding about it? I knew she's gonna manage to cry to my parents and others and make me out to be the bad guy. She even wants us to do a joint session with her therapist, whom she has said is a yes man. But I think I should stand my ground. This has been 3 years in the making. I know this was super long and rambling. Just trying to give some context. Does anyone have advice for how to manage this situation? Edit. I think I should add that my twin and I are still very close. I love her dearly and want us to be on good terms. I think some of her issues have to do with her feeling abandoned by me and feeling maybe replaced. I cannot articulate her feelings. Whatever the case, I want things to be amicable between us. I still want her at my wedding and even as a bridesmaid. I just accepted a long time ago that she wasn't going to have an actual relationship with my fiancé. I need help navigating the consequences of her actions in a reasonable manner. Edit number 2. No, he didn't cheat. The breakup had more to do with assumptions, misunderstandings, hurt feelings and stress from both of us being in school. I was pretty immature and he wasn't as sensitive to my feelings as he is now. We also weren't the best communicators at the time. Also, I'm sure nothing has happened between them and that she doesn't have feelings for him. He came to the country a year before we met and my twin and I lived in a different state, State B, for our undergraduate degrees. At the time we all met, I had moved to the same state as him, State A, for grad school. My sister is doing graduate school in the same state we did undergrad in, State B. She met him the same night I did. We each picked a guy off of Bumble and had a double date night. And no, the two of them didn't have any conversations on Bumble. And returned back to her state, State B, shortly after. He and I actually lived in the same apartment complex and we hung out almost every day. They didn't have each other's contact information at all for like a year. I really don't think anything happened between them and I don't think she has a crush on him. When I say we have different taste in men, I mean a stark contrast in taste. For those that feel I'm being vague, I am trying to be concise and point out the important, big things. There is so much that goes into this, and I don't have the time and space to get into everything. Also, I'm new at sharing my personal life on the internet. Forgive me if I need to take baby steps. Anonymity is a great shield, but I'm still a private person. Additional note. Make sure whoever is in charge of the mic at the wedding knows she is not allowed to speak. Your MC, DJ or whatever needs to know you have a twin. This is what she looks like, and they are to ensure she is not given the mic and it's taken from her if she tries to grab it from someone. I feel I'm missing some of the story here. You say you've talked and cried to your twin about this. What are you actually telling her? How is she responding? Have you sat her down and said, examples of how you acted X, Y, and Z are why I don't feel you support my relationship and cannot give a speech? What do you feel about my fiancé and my marriage? Tell her the next time she makes a stink about what her responsibilities are that she's out of the wedding. Seriously put your sister in her place and stop allowing her to take you hostage emotionally. Boundaries.
All of this is too vague. Has she ever given you a reason as to why she doesn't like him? Is she jealous? Did he do something to her? If you guys are close enough to cry to each other about it, then what is the reason she didn't support y'all's relationship?
Is she just a narcissist? I feel like we need more details regarding the dynamics between you, your twin, and fiancé. I wouldn't have made her a bridesmaid, and she would have been lucky she was invited at all.
She doesn't get to shit on your fiancé and relationship for years and be shocked she's not maid of honor.
You also need to start going LC if she's continuing her behavior after multiple conversations. Protect your husband. My husband is a triplet.
He is very close to his one triplet brother, the other one not so much.
He also has 4 other siblings, one of which, his older brother, he is closer to than the other triplet. He had one triplet and older brother in his wedding party. The other triplet was an usher, and to give him a little extra we had him do a reading at our ceremony.
We got married 10 years ago and has gone no contact with that triplet and often refers to himself as a twin now.
We do not regret him not being a groomsman.
Your situation is different, but maybe give her a different job at your wedding, a reading, a blessing, something to make her special.
Wife,
F30. Cheated on me, M30. What should I do?
Hi all. My wife, 30 female, and me,
32 male, are together for 5 years now. And we are married for 2 years now. Last Tuesday I found out that my wife cheated on me with a very good friend of her.
When I confronted her, she admitted it and said she did it because she missed something in our sex life.
After that she left the house.
I found out through her parents that she resides in a small bungalow park nearby.
When I asked what she was doing there, she told me she had to think about everything.
She also told me she is coming home Monday and wants to talk to me about everything.
A few days later I found out that that guy is also on the park with her.
I still love her, but I feel like she has zero respect for me.
A part of me wants to give her a chance, and another part of me says I should get as far away from her as possible.
I don't know if this is relevant, but the friend is very rich, and also supplies her with cocaine.
What should I do with this mess?
I'm really surprised at the last part you mentioned where her rich affair partner provides her with drugs.
That's okay with you? You're still giving her another chance? That's a choice you're making. I hope you don't regret it when you could be spending your time divorcing, moving on, and finding a partner that wouldn't cheat on you while also doing drugs. Just divorce her. Sorry that this thing's happened to you, but that's the only thing I can think.
I think you have rose-colored glasses, bro. Try rereading your post but pretend it's not you and it's another person on Reddit asking for advice.
Leave your wife, man, no matter how much she cries and begs and says she'll do anything and that she needs you, just pick up your ball and go.
There's no reason to continue wasting time and energy trying to build a house on sand. Yikes.
Zero respect is right. Have some self-love and self-respect and thank God you have no children. Unless you do.
This woman does not respect you.
Don't wait till Monday, just simply text her we are getting divorced. Everything else will be solved through lawyers. Have fun with AP.
Thank you all, I really need this.
Acceptable for my girlfriend, 29F, to go to a trip with her friend and her ex, 30M. I need some advice and feedback on my current situation. My 31M girlfriend, 29F, is in a close friendship with her ex-boyfriend and I'm not sure how to feel about it. To give you some context, my girlfriend and I have been together for about 9 months, and her ex is part of her circle of friends.
They were together for about 3 years.
After their breakup, she told me that they didn't speak for about a year, then slowly they started talking again and now they are friends, so no romantic ends. Despite the reassurances and my trust in her, I still have to admit that the situation makes me uncomfortable.
I have a hard time understanding the dynamics of their relationship, probably because I have never had a relationship like that with any of my exes. I always broke up on good terms, but I have never maintained such a deep relationship with any of them.
She has proven to be very open to dialogue and available. Before they also saw each other alone for events or dinners. Now, after I explained my worries, they see each other less. She asked me, however, that over time she can resume seeing him at the previous pace, if she wanted, and she told me that I simply have to trust her and her judgment. The current problem is that a mutual friend of theirs has moved to a city not too far away, and has invited the two of them to spend 3-4 days with her.
I don't like the idea of the two of them going on a trip, even with their mutual friend, at all.
However, she is very inclined to take this trip, and she would be very sorry not to be able to go. Honestly, I don't see any favorable outcome. Either I give her my approval for the trip, even if I end up feeling bad, or I impose my limits, even if I end up looking like an excessively jealous and controlling boyfriend, which I would like to avoid. Having said that, I think the most sensible thing for us is to break up.
I don't see anything wrong with her reasoning, or mine. We are simply incompatible.
And even if one of us can switch to the other's reasoning, this is still a change that requires a long time, something that my girlfriend doesn't seem willing to wait for. However, I wanted to ask your opinion, especially if you have found yourself in a similar situation. All the other aspects of our relationship are very good, and I would hate to have to give up everything for this situation. Why do they both have to go see this friend together? Why can't they go at separate times?
Thinking face.
You are a very mature and understandable person.
The breakup is the right call. I also don't see myself with befriending my ex-partner and spending time with him alone while having a boyfriend.
This is just not right. No matter at what angle you will look at it. You're not unreasonable or controlling.
This is your boundary, and this is okay. If she isn't willing to put up with that, let her go.
To be honest, she could always tag you along if she would respect you, your feelings, and concerns towards the uncommon situation and make sure that everybody gets their cake and eat it.
Sorry, but I'm firmly in the EXS belong in the past camp. At no point will EXS be involved in any capacity unless there are children involved. Her even contemplating going says a lot about her. Boundaries. I think you are correct.
Breaking up with her may be the wake-up call she needs, and if not, you will know that her ex is more important to her than you are. Either way, you will get the answers you seek, and won't waste any more time and effort on someone who doesn't value you.
You are not unreasonable. And after you dump her, her next relationships will fizzle as long as she's in contact with her ex.
Eventually she'll find a guy that tolerates her bullshit, doesn't give a crap about her, and that's what she deserves. Surveys find that 95% insist on zero contact with EXS. Plus, a partner in a committed relationship avoids even the appearance of infidelity, and never places themselves in a situation where they say, "You have to trust me." Always judge people by their actions, not their excuses or promises. Her decision to travel with her ex, regardless of her excuses, is evidence that she's not committed to your relationship, and has low social intelligence, lacks empathy.
Throw out the trash. That would be a nope for me.
I would have left when I first learned she still has an ex she was close with.
Just my own boundaries.